In 2025, as China's BYD electric vehicles surge on the global sale list at an unprecedented pace, it never anticipated hitting a wall in one particular country. This wasn't about business competition or a trade dispute. The Israeli Ministry of Defense, through an internal directive, labeled the star product from China with a fatal flag. Why would a civilian vehicle be targeted in this way by a nation renowned for its intelligence and military expertise? What are the cameras, microphones, and sensors inside the car actually collecting? And where is the data it transmits quietly being sent? The alarm has been sounded in Tel Aviv, not just for Israel, but for the entire world. Alarm from Israel. Let's shift the focus from above the Ministry of Defense building to Tel Aviv to its most central office. In July, a directive was quickly signed by Israel's Ministry of Defense with a clear objective to freeze all purchases of Chinese-made smart electric vehicles for military officers. The first vehicle affected was the BYD ATTO3, which had been planned for widespread distribution. However, this was not limited to a batch of undelivered vehicles. Prior to the ban, over 600 Chinese electric cars, including models from SAIC Group's MG and Chery Automobiles to Go, were already integrated into Israel's roads and government systems. Some were even seen regularly driving near the Ministry of Defense headquarters in Tel Aviv. This growing presence of Chinese vehicles prompted a response from Israeli experts Dr. Harel Mansari, a founding member of Israel's security agency Shin Bet Cyber Division, raised the alarm, stating that I've never come across Chinese technology that doesn't transmit. He emphasized that these vehicles were not just transportation but sophisticated intelligence gathering systems, quietly collecting data such as voices, images, locations, and even biometric details through their numerous sensors. Israeli officials attempted to disable the vehicle's emergency call system to block data transmission, but Mansari argued that this was insufficient. The vehicles were capable of actively seeking out available network channels to transmit data back to their real owner. The key question now is, who is the final owner of this data? The answer is found in the ownership structure of companies like SAIC and Chery, which are ultimately controlled by local government agencies under the Chinese Communist Party. This Israeli military's decision to blacklist these vehicles is not just a response to a car company, but to a sophisticated system of cross-border data collection created by the CCP. The alarm sounded in Israel marks just the beginning, as the world soon will realize the extent of China's spy system that has already spread globally. Number 2. Global encirclement, the tightening Skynet. If Israel's ban merely tore a small hole in the vast global web, then looking outward reveals a silent world war that has already begun. In this war, the first to sound the alarm and fire the first shot was the United States. As early as 2024, Washington made its assessment. The punitive tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles were not set at 10% or 50%, but a full 100%. At that time, U.S. Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo issued a warning to the world declaring that these Chinese electric vehicles were, in fact, smartphones on wheels. They could be remotely disabled and even used for large-scale surveillance. This, she stated, was never a trade war but a full-fledged national security war. However, cars were just the front line of China's technological Trojan horse strategy. Behind them lies a far larger, more covert infiltration network. Your home network is a second battleground. China's router maker TP-Link controls 65% of the US's market. Investigations by the Wall Street Journal directly pointed to it as the CCP's key tool in global infiltration, providing an unprotected information highway. Above the ground, the skies are also a battlefield. DJI drones, marketed as entertainment, blur the lines between civilian and military uses. The U.S. Department of Defense has already blacklisted them, as no one knows who else receives the footage captured by these drones, aside from the user. In cities and homes, there are countless surveillance devices, from Hikvision cameras on streets corners to the robot vacuum in your home that maps every room. It's not just cleaning. Security companies have long identified serious vulnerabilities in these devices, as they record every wall, every sound, and every movement in your home. This is not a conspiracy theory, nor is it alarmist rhetoric. The Five Eyes alliance, comprising the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, has already disclosed that a network of 260,000 Chinese-made devices is being used to spy on sensitive organizations. When a person's car is moving, that network is connected. Eyes are in the sky, ears are on the wall, and the maps are being drawn on the ground. When these seemingly unrelated points are connected to a vast network, a chilling truth emerges. So, what laws and systems are driving these Chinese companies to willingly play the role of global spies? Number 3, the unavoidable national duty. To answer this question, we must first understand one fundamental truth. No matter how international or glamorous a Chinese tech company may appear on the surface, behind it always hangs two swords: the system of national duty that no Chinese company can refuse. The first sword is the law. According to Article 7 of the National Intelligence Law of the People's Republic of China, it is written, "Any organization or citizen shall support, assist, and cooperate with the national intelligence work in accordance with the law." This statement is a shackle placed on all Chinese companies. It means that when the Ministry of State Security comes knocking, requesting user data, backdoors, or even cooperation in intelligence operations, they have no right to say no. Refusing is illegal. The second sword is equity. If the law is the external coercion, then equity is the internal control embedded deep within the company. In 2016, the CCP implemented a system known as special management shares. These shares typically account for only 1% of total ownership, but come with the golden veto, power over certain matters. A research report from Nanjing University clearly pointed out that this system is especially applied to companies with strong ideological and political orientations. It ensures that no matter how far a company may go, the voice of the party will always be the final decision maker. The issue we're discussing is no longer one of business ethics for a particular company, it is systemic. Under the system, any Chinese tech giant is, in essence, an extraterrestrial intelligence branch of the CCP's intelligence network. Even a mere engineer working on navigation algorithms could one day find themselves opening doors for the Ministry of State Security. Believing that a Chinese company can operate independently of the national intelligence system is akin to believing that a puppet can free itself from the strings controlled by its master. This is the fundamental reason why the world increasingly feels fear and unease towards Chinese tech products. 4. A pre-programmed execution. The sharp responses from Israel and the United States signal their awareness of a much larger, more dangerous battlefield on the horizon. Let's examine the technologies Chinese electric vehicle giants are rapidly advancing. Huawei's Harmony Cockpit operating system and BYD's God's Eye self-driving system. Their ultimate goal has moved beyond simply creating better electric cars. Instead, they are working to build a mobile AI brain powered by algorithms defined by Chinese companies with data processed by Chinese servers and navigation provided by Chinese satellites. When thousands of these AI-powered vehicles flood a nation's road, the threat level escalates drastically. It is no longer just about passive surveillance, it becomes a tool for actively mapping intelligence from an enemy state, tracking every lane, military base, and the travel patterns of high-ranking officials. These vehicles could track the exact time a car enters and exits the Pentagon. They could monitor the computing patterns of military bases and even analyze the operational rhythms of an entire city based on its traffic flow. In the most extreme scenario, a hostile entity could simply type a few lines of code from thousands of miles away to bring an entire national transportation network to a halt. This is the first layer of digital landmines buried within the target. But is this the worst case scenario? No, paralyzing the city is just the ground attack mode of this weapon. The real danger lies in its precision strike capability. It can shift seamlessly from mass control to individual elimination. Like a self-driving, silent bullet, it can target and eliminate a person with no opportunity or retaliation. These AI systems are already connected to a person's phone and integrated with biometric systems inside the car. It doesn't just know where the car has been, it knows who you are, it knows your identity, your job, your address, and your daily routes. Under normal conditions, this is valuable commercial data, but in exceptional situations, it transforms into a precise digital assassination list. Imagine a system capable of identifying a defense scientist, an intelligence officer, or even a dissenter from thousands of vehicles, then using a calculated traffic accident to silently erase them from existence. This is the darkest and most dangerous aspect of digital landmines. It's not just about paralyzing a city. It can pinpoint and eliminate an individual. This is the future the United States and Israel fear. This is a real reason they are willing to go to any length to keep Chinese smart vehicles out of their borders. The ban on BYD is not just about a business transaction. It's about who will control the roads of the future. It's about who will hold sovereignty over national security for generations to come. Now let's return to the eye of the storm and answer the initial question. Why Israel? Why was this small Middle Eastern country the first to issue a military-grade ban on Chinese smart vehicles? The answer lies not just in Israel's vigilance, but in the fact that the CCP's technological infiltration had almost reached the heart of their national security. Israel's national security is deeply dependent on its military technology cooperation with the United States. From the F-35 fighter data link to the core algorithms behind the Iron Dome missile defense system, these are some of the most sensitive US defense secrets. The CCP's intelligence objectives have long exceeded commercial interest. What they truly desire are these advanced American weapon systems and scientific achievements deployed on Israeli soil. So any data backdoor that could lead to a leak is not merely a risk for Israel, it's treason. What further disturbs Israel's security agencies is that through the Belt and Road Initiative, the CCP has already deeply infiltrated Israel's key infrastructure, such as its ports, power grid, and transportation systems. So, how can they trust that the smart devices running on these networks are harmless? In essence, Israel's ban is a forced self-mutilation for survival. And Israel's actions have become the first domino in a global chain reaction. The European Union is already engaged in heated discussions on whether to impose stricter restrictions on Chinese renewable energy equipment and 5G technology. Japan has long banned Chinese drones from entering sensitive government and military sectors. Australia, the UK, and other democracies sees Israel's action as a precursor to the future. An invincible technical firewall is being rapidly established across the globe. The global scrutiny surrounding made-in-China products is now irreversible. In the future, any smart products from China, whether it's a car, phone, router, or robot vacuum, may first need to undergo spy detection before entering another country's market. The CCP's state-driven model of technology exports will inevitably run into the barriers created by national security concerns. This is not market competition, it's a device Cold War. Returning to the original point, Israel's ban on Chinese electric vehicles goes beyond a simple business decision. It marks the beginning of a global device Cold War where smart devices serves as a battlefield, data acts as the ammunition, and each of us becomes part of the combat unit. In this Cold War, there is no explosions or gunfire, but there is silent infiltration and covert control. Data streams infiltrate every aspect of our lives without us even realizing it. While we enjoy the convenience technology brings, we may be unknowingly surrendering control over our daily lives. We focus on price and convenience, but what we risk losing is national sovereignty and security in the future. Israel has sounded the alarm, reminding the world that in an increasingly intelligent future, every time we swipe a screen, connect to the internet, or turn on a device, we could be unknowingly laying the groundwork for conflict. So, has this device Cold War truly arrived? How will you reassess every smart device in your life? Share your thoughts in the comments. If this video has raised concerns, subscribe, like, and share it with others. Only by spreading awareness can we protect the most vital battleground of our time.